Hi guys. So I want to talk about these three books. Okay, Unplugged, the first one, the second one, and the third one. So just briefly, Unplugged, the first version, which I launched in April 2022, did very well. It has done very well. My main outlet is Nuria Bookstore, and from the time I launched it and took it to Nuria Bookstore, it has been topping the charts. At the time, James Clear's Atomic Habits was the one that was on top, but Unplugged dislodged it. So I'm very happy about the impact it has had. It is the most reviewed book at the Nuria website. More than 700 reviews, and we actually say that they're not just reviews. We talk about bibliotherapy because many guys go to the Nuria website now at their blog section to share their experiences, which they can relate to from the stories that are there in Unplugged. So it has been a meeting point of various people, both men and women, diverse backgrounds, diverse perspectives. Some feel that I'm very hard on the men, some feel I'm very hard on the women, but overall, most guys find it very beneficial. There are women who've said it has saved their marriages. There are many men whose lives have been turned around. I've had guys who talk about they used to take antidepressants. Once they read Unplugged, they just stopped taking antidepressants. And I tell guys, you're not depressed, you're just confused. Sometimes when you have clarity, even the depression just vanishes. And the thing about Unplugged is I wanted men to understand what it means to be a man. Of course, the title, I talk about things our fathers did not tell us, and from comforting lies to cold hard truths. So I peel off what we call the blue pill conditioning beliefs that most men hold, and I thrust to them the uncomfortable truths. Okay, they would call it the cold hard truths. And of course, that process is painful for many guys because you're emotionally invested in your beliefs. It's basically stripping you of your identity, and you have to build from ground zero. So that is not easy for many people. It requires a lot of diligence and giving up of the self to be able to actually build your worldview from scratch. So Unplugged did very well. And in Unplugged, I talk about most of the concepts I talk about, they're not original to me. I borrowed them from Rollo Tomasi, Rich Cooper, and other red pill thinkers or thought leaders. But the way scholarship works, even Rollo Tomasi, a number of these concepts he borrowed from others like David Bass, the father of evolutionary psychology, and so on and so forth. So as I tell guys, nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. So you can always borrow from somebody. So in the first book of Unplugged, I talk about the red pill, the blue pill, female hypergamy. I talk about the female ovulatory cycle, feminism, blank slate equalism. We talk about concepts like war-bride dynamic, female preselection. We talk about the danger of relying on negotiated desire as opposed to genuine burning desire. We talk about Brifold's law. Very important is the burden of performance for men. And then we talk about simping, things like equal partnerships, alpha, betas, and so on. That is what I talk about in Unplugged. Now, in Unplugged 2, the subtitle is Forging Prosperous, Solidified Men. So we go beyond, prosperity is more than success. Success is, we normally say success is getting what you want, but prosperity goes beyond that just success. Often it has the multiplier effect. Often it spreads through generations, and it covers more than just the material success. Oftentimes it covers beyond just what is the visual. So we go deeper in Unplugged 2. I talk about the frame, the masculine frame, software, very poorly understood. I go deep into the masculine frame. I also talk about sexual transmutation, which is also not very well understood because people talk about NoFap nowadays, where there's a big drive for young men to stop masturbation and to be able to go out there and meet women. But sexual transmutation is much deeper. a lot of it is from the Orient or the Eastern civilizations, particularly the Hindus. Talk about that. I talk about the 5 pillars of the full stack man. I talk about the constitution of a weak man. What is the infrastructure of a man that is weak, and what keeps men weak? Very important. I also talk about how women parent men and the impact of being raised by a woman on a man. I talk about attention, very, very important, and the dopamine, why you have to control your dopamine, because your dopamine holds the keys to your success and is also what keeps you chained to being a weak person, someone who is not able to exact his imperatives and be able to apply himself. So I also talk about why many men don't know their sexual marketplace value. Many men, especially married men, don't know their value. And I talk about that. You need to know what your SMV is, because most women know their SMV, but many men don't. And that imbalance has very serious effects downstream, and it causes ongoing problems in most relationships. And dating damaged women, why men date damaged women, and what is the impact of that. I also talk about telling guys why your words are useless and why you need to build a vision and lead a life of purpose. Very, very important. I talk about the 37 red flags that you need to watch out for when you're selecting a woman for a long-term relationship. And then the value of a man's life, which our government actually has demonstrated several times. I'll give practical examples. So that is a very short summary of Unplugged 2, but that's just a tip of the iceberg. Of course, it's much, much deeper. There are many, many things. I talk also about the J curve. Those of you know about the J curve, because the red pill also, it takes place in stages. I go through all that and learning, what are the stages of learning and so on. So it's there, it's coming out. November 2nd is when I'm launching it, but the distribution of both 2 and 3 starts next week on Wednesday. Then the third one, the third Unplugged, which I'm also very excited about. This is about female nature and modern women. I dive deeper into female nature because now everybody understands hypergamy, everybody knows pre-selection, everybody understands the war bride dynamic, everybody understands. Okay, let me not say to everybody, but the people who've read Unplugged 1, they know about female selection strategies and the way women love opportunistically and the way men love in a different manner. Now, I now go back to the origins. Why do you have male and female? The ancient Greek philosopher Plato said that we were once unified, but because we were very proud, Zeus punished humankind by separating the male and the female. And that's why we look for our soulmate, so to speak, soulmate in quotes. We also look at the legend of Abraham, or the myth that man was created first, and then God decided to create a woman to be a helper to man. Now, in the absence of patriarchy, female nature is unfettered. How does female nature manifest itself? Does it support the theory that we are soulmates, or does it support the theory that a woman is supposed to be a workmate or a helper to a man? I challenge those theories, and we dive deep into that. We also look at modern marriage. Many more woke women say that marriage is slavery to them. It doesn't help them. Is it slavery to women or to men? So we look at that also. Very, very important. This book has a major chapter called The Dark Aspects of Female Nature. So we also look at that. Why did the Greek philosophers and myth makers have women like, they represented the female as goddess Pandora, for example, and other goddesses that were very scary and very destructive. Most of them are represented as female. Why is this? Why do women like chaos? We look at the reason why women love bad boys and the people who have the dark triad characteristics or personalities. I look at competition anxiety in women. How does it manifest itself? Why is divorce so appealing to modern women? We look at that. I also look at the 18 laws of female nature. In that, we look at the sins of the mothers, the things mothers do to the children when they are raising them alone, in the absence of a strong man or in the absence of a man. We call them sins of the mothers. 3 chapters on that. We also look at the cause of high body counts, okay? People say that sexual liberation, women should just sleep around the way they want. How does it impact on the woman? The people who say it causes mental illness in women, it's like PTSD. There is a concept of microchimerism or chimerism that is also there. When you find a child's DNA or a man's DNA in a woman, how does that play out? We also look at why so many beautiful career women are side chicks. Why does that happen in our society? We also, I also talk to men about why they should not worry about the options that a woman has. Many men preoccupy themselves with mate guarding and worrying about women posting thirst traps on the social media and so on and so forth. We look at the Jezebel spirit and also ask the question whether women deserve more. Myron Gaines published a book called Why Women Deserve Less this year. So we look at the converse. So that is Unplugged 3. Okay, also coming out next week. So I'm very excited about these books. And I think that they are going to enrich people's understanding of intersexual dynamics and provide particularly men with tools for navigating relationships. Men are particularly vulnerable in my view. I know that men are stronger physically and they still have some advantages that women don't have. But when it comes to relationships, men are very disadvantaged because women, we say, are natural gamers. Women play in the psychological. This gives them a lot of advantages that men do not have. And I try to equip men with the tools to deal with this. I talk a lot about how you can achieve success, both financial and life success, issues about mental health, and how you can actually solidify yourself as a man and as a human being in the modern society. So that is it about these 3 books. Okay. So from next week, you should be able to order them and have them. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. So the book launch is on 4th of November at Maxon Suits in Hurlingham. So if you follow my socials, you'll see how you can register and book a seat. It will be nice to see you. There are guys who've offered to come and provide a talk to the people who will be present about the impact Unplugged has had on their lives. Guys who've opened businesses, guys who've enjoyed prosperity just by reading Unplugged and applying the concepts that are in Unplugged. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. That's just like 2-3 weeks away. You can make your orders for these books. We start distribution next week and see you on the next one.